The DJ Roundtable Show is live. It's the DJ Roundtable Show. Tell another DJ about the show. Please subscribe.
It is Tuesday night. It is 8 o'clock. You know where your DJ's at. I know where I'm at. I'm here with you. Yes, it is another DJ Roundtable. And Matt is over there trying to pull down the Golden Gate Bridge. And then he thinks he's King Kong. Again, he's the king of California out there. So we have DJs from all around the country, East Coast, West Coast, North, South, and so forth. We have Joe also in California. We have Sean over in beautiful state of Georgia. We have Cool Thing, who's off camera right now, and he will be in a minute or so. He is coming up from the South. Jeff is also the South. He's got the East Coast covered. We got Dwayne in the Midwest with me. And also Brentley, when he gets in here, he's having a little technical difficulties. But don't forget the man up north, almost close to Santa Claus, I guess you could say that, would be Chris in New York. He is New York, not New York City, not upstate New York, so it's not that far north. But the thing is that he is a little out of New York City. He's what, an hour?
Hour and a half, actually.
Hour and a half, yeah. So again, he has a little bit of New York accent, but he's a cool dude, and I'll tell you, I was a cool guy to hang out with any day of the week. And going, I like where we have Hunter down there in South Carolina. So we have some Southern DJs, Northern DJs, Eastern DJs, Western DJs. We have DJs from every way we possibly can have. And as always, we are very glad to have you here on Twitch. We go live on Twitch every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, or you want to go to the West Coast where Matt and Joe is at, it's 6 o'clock, That's where they're at. It's dinner time for them, so a lot of times you see Matt cut out for dinner because it's still dinner time for him. And you have to excuse me, the allergies are good here in Chicagoland. It's that time of year, and I have a little bit of congestion, but thank goodness for Zyrtec and all the other fun stuff. So, and as always, I'm your lovely host, Buddy Mueller, with the host and the lead guy in the DJ Roundtable here. And I always thank you all for coming here. But I ask for one thing. Please do me a favor and help me slay that beast over on YouTube. And don't be a part of the 77.4% of people who are not subscribed to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you check the bell icon. Do everything we need to do to make sure we grow the channel. And again, I appreciate all the new people who join and watch the channel. And if it's your first time, say something down below, down in the chat. As always, we always thank you all for being here. And we appreciate all the DJs here because they have a lot of great information and a lot of great, a great amount of knowledge. It's amazing. If you look at the years of people who have been doing it, some more than others, but if you add everyone together, there's a lot of knowledge here and a lot of different views and different ways of doing things. So again, we'll give you our opinion and what we do, and hopefully that helps you out in that situation. So I always have my list of stuff. And again, I kind of know what I'm going to talk about. These guys don't. I like doing that because it keeps them on their toes. But last time we asked about how to get higher paid gigs, more expensive customers, people who don't mind spending the money on premium services, people who don't mind, putting a few dollars more out. And, again, the pros and cons with that and how we all try to get into that area. This week, I'm going to ask you, now, again, you're going for more expensive customers, but see here, how do I phrase it? We're all in markets, different areas of the country, and some have more DJs than others. So here's a question for you guys. In a crowded DJ market, doesn't matter if you have one DJ or 100 DJs are near you, how do you make yourself stand out? How do you separate your business from your competitor's business? What makes you different in your area, in your market, versus a DJ down the street who may have similar gear to you, or better gear than you, or not as good gear? But what separates you? Is it the gear? Is it knowledge? Is it skill? Is it understanding? There's a lot of things you can be different between people, a lot of difference between DJs. So I'm asking you, how do you separate yourself in a crowded market today on the show? So with that said, I'm actually going to hit Sean. He also has a great show over there on Wednesdays. Comes out the DJ Biz School, and he has that on his channel, which all the links are down below for the channels. So make sure you go to the channels and watch the stuff, watch your shows, watch your videos. But all the links are down below, so make sure you can follow them. But Sean has his DJ Biz School, and he's touched on subjects like this, how to do stuff digitally. But how do you separate yourself? And we're talking about this last night after hours. But how do you separate yourself from other DJs in your market in Georgia?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it comes down at that point to being able to market and sell yourself. That's the number one way. I mean, we're in the Atlanta market here, which is probably one of the most heavy populated markets in the country, along with Chicago, LA. We're one of the bigger markets in the country when it comes to DJs. So your SEO needs to be on point, your website, your professional appearance that you're putting out online needs to be top notch. You need to be on top of either your social media game, Google, whatever it may be. And then again, making connections with the right people. We were talking last night, I was putting together a pitch deck to send off to a corporate client for a $17,000 gig. Being able to put together something professional like a pitch deck to be able to send to those high-end clients, that is what they're looking for to book those high-end gigs. I'm not going to send them a Facebook message like, yo, I'll do your event for $1,000, hit me up. They want to see that you're a professional, reputable company, so you need to present yourself like that. Obviously, we can all go skill, I'm the best around, whatever, but what they're going to see from you is what your online presence is, essentially. So that's what I believe is going to help you the most in standing out, is having that online presence. Also, find a niche market. That's also something that we kind of do here, is we look for things that other DJs are not offering. We have photo booth company, look for different activations, things you can do there that people in your area are not offering. So if somebody's looking for that service, you're the person who has it. And I think I said last week, don't follow the trends, create them yourself. When you see that new item and you're like, oh, I think this would be awesome, get it and start offering it. Be that first person out the gate with that new thing and let other DJs follow you.
And I think that's very powerful, especially in a crowded market, to have yourself separated by more than, saying, hey, yo, I'll do your whatever event for X amount of dollars. And I know I see on Facebook, and I want to see a show of hands. I would hear in Facebook groups and see the brides that say, is any DJ available on X date, and how many fill in those dates? How many DJs mark that? Because I see that all the time. Can I see a show of hands? Okay, so I got 3, 4, 5. So again, those Facebook groups, they're great. And I will tell you, I hesitate putting my hat in there not because of the fact that it's a bunch of other DJs, you can get lost in the shuffle, but I just feel a lot of DJs, again, are those DJs that are, hey, I'll DJ your wedding for $500, or I'll do this. And nothing against a DJ being, less expensive than you. It couldn't. Of course, there's always going to be difference in competition, difference of price. Why is there a difference between what Hunter charges to what Brentley charges, or what Brentley charges to what Dwayne charges, or, so forth, so I can go connect everyone here? But the thing is that, do I want to get into that circle? And it's basically sometimes a death spiral down to the, and people giving away stuff for no charge. And then by the time you look at it, you're not making money. And one of the things that I know that we do, Tracy and I do with our business, is we have each other. we have some employees with us. When we do bigger events. And that right there, a selling tactic that we deal with because there's two people. She does the coordination. I do the light, sound, music side of things. So she does time management. She's my life boss as well as my business boss. It's something we always tell our customers. But it is always the two of us at least. Or if we split, we have bring one of our employees with, or if it's a bigger event, we bring employees in to help move things around or do what we need to do. The thing is that a lot of DJs in our market, they they promise a lot, but they don't deliver a lot. And that's the thing is that what do you promise? How do you market yourself differently from other people? How do you brand yourself differently? And that's the most difficult part is branding because Sean has some good classes on it, how to get your Google page out there and your listing, how to do stuff. But the question is, how do other DJs do that? What are some of the key things they look at? And I'm going to go to Jeff in North Carolina because I'm going to ask him, how do you differentiate yourself in your market from the other DJs? From, again, Hunter is, not close by, but he's, a couple hundred miles away. How do you differentiate yourself to like someone in his market or someone who's right down the street from you?
Well, I don't really go that deep into differentiating myself. I don't try to, promote myself as different from anything else or anyone else. I do promote myself as a video DJ because that was my forte, for the past 35 years, making videos. So I figured that I would incorporate that into my DJing some years ago. So, it doesn't make that big of a difference when people just want, some music at an event. They could really care less, but it does differentiate myself when I am DJing and I'm playing a music video and people are looking and they're watching that and they're remembering, especially an older crowd. Oh my goodness, I remember that. I remember that video, on MTV back in the 80s or the 90s or something. And it brings back a memory, not just a song. So that is one thing that separates me from other DJs, though I don't really promote it as a differentiation as much as this is just something I offer. So the other thing is my just history and knowledge, I guess, of a lot of music from the past, from the 80s and the 90s and even the 70s. So I had one comment recently. It was like, well, we really appreciate you playing some of those oldies. We had a DJ last year that, tried to only play, recent pop hits. And so you got to, read your audience. And that's one thing I consider myself good at. And so, again, I don't try to, promote that, but I think when people see it, they appreciate it. So at least that's how it works for me.
Well, you do differentiate yourself because you offer video DJing. So there is different way you do differentiate yourself in other DJs. And that's the thing is that you may not recognize it, but by you saying you do certain things, that keeps you different from what someone else does. It's one of the things we don't want to be cookie cutter. Certain aspects, yes, we all do music, we all have sound, we do lights, there's certain things that we all do one way or another. So there is a little bit of a cookie cutter there, but we don't want to say everything's the same. We don't want to be vanilla ice cream. And that's the thing is that we want to make sure that we are personalized and our differences between us are showcased and we could show each other. So I'm going to go to my other Southern DJ. I'm going to go over to Hunter. Hunter, how do you differentiate yourself in your market versus other DJs in the area?
Well, I can't really speak on other DJs in my area, but I mainly stick with family and friends, like from school, from church, my family members, and that's what I ever go for. And as far as I guess my setup for being different is I have a rock booth, I have a Newmark Mixstream Pro, Yamaha MG10 mixer, my Shure PG58 microphone, which I love because I know Matt doesn't like Shure, but I do. It's a good microphone. I put my lights underneath the speakers. I have a more compact, mobile friendly look, which is more clean and easier to set up and easy to tear down than some of these DJs who use trusses and really like it really advanced lights and all that stuff.
Okay. So you keep it more simple, more clean.
Yeah,
And
and as far as
that's your look.
the music, I do keep it clean and I do rip CDs. I know you can't see it, but there's some of my CDs I'm getting ready to rip for my upcoming gig next couple of days for a mother and son dance.
Okay.
So
There
I
you
do
go.
keep all of my music clean. I play a lot of pop, rock, hip hop. I play Christian music. I play all kinds of stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. I play today's. I just go all over.
And that's again, that's what keeps you different from your competition. And there is all different levels of DJing. And, we have DJs like Joe with some fantastic uplighting. We have Matt, who wasn't here. He missed the uplighting one. He was, out doing stuff. He's always busy.
I mean,
But
nobody's uplighting is better than mine. No, I'll say
I think Joe gives you a run for the money.
no.
Joe,
Nobody's uplighting is better than
Ooh.
mine.
Joe gives you a run for the money, man.
I
Now,
don't,
that's a,
Hey,
yeah,
Solstice,
no.
them fighting words right there.
I don't leave my uplights on static.
Yeah. See, that's
Oh!
another thing. That's another thing I could differentiate myself. I don't do uplights. I don't do
Okay.
uplights. That's another
I
thing.
would just I like mine because like I program.
Matt, I'm going to
I don't know
stop
if you do or not. I was just saying.
I'm going to stop you there. I love you, Matt, but I
I'm
do
sure
control my lights. I do
I know
control-
Joe's lighting is nice.
It's all right, brother. It's all right. I like
It's-
people messing
again,
with me.
this is friendly humor, folks. Don't everyone go like, oh my
I-
God, Matt. No,
I
this
just-
is
I've
something
done
we
this
all.
Too long.
I've
been
done some
doing
really
this
cool
too long.
hauls where we do like some really dope uplighting chases and like some other really cool scenes in there, and it totally transforms. Like
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that when you start getting into DMXing and you start doing light shows, that's one of the reasons why I love Astera, because they're so easy to deal with and they're so easy to program, more so than Show Express. Show Express is a little bit of more of a learning curve than we'll say Astera, but it's like anything else. You put your time into it, you put your work into it, it does show. And especially when you capture those videos and those photographs, it does show. And one of the things also I wanted to say, if you guys don't know, that Joe has a new product. He has a really great, cool little, basically a command center, small little mini one that you can use for ceremonies or small gigs. His link is down below. Make sure you go to it. He has them in stock. I think he's already been through his 10 already. He has special deal. Now it's a regular price.
Yes.
Definitely go check it out. It is a cool thing. If you want to be different from the other DJs in the area, this is another way of doing it. Your appearance is part of it. And if you look like everyone else, you can't be different. So I'm going to go by who always looks different. Matt there in California in beautiful Orange County. So he's not LA, he's not San Diego. He's kind of between the two, you can
In
say.
between.
Yeah, and Joe's a little further north. But the thing is that they're both in the same area, Southern California, and they do sometimes the same venues. But Matt, how do you differentiate yourself and your business from Joe, who's a neighbor of yours, basically?
I mean, with me, our music is really kind of what sets us apart. We really focus on that EDM, high energy, dance centric type of wedding. In terms of like luxury, or like setup wise, just like the one we did this past weekend, we have the nice, beautiful white setup, and it just, looks so elegant. And nobody over here can afford L-Acoustic. Well, they can afford them. Nobody here has L-Acoustic subwoofers and nice, beautiful, their version of a white setup here is a Evox system, and that's not going to fill a 10,000 square foot ballroom with 250, 300 people. So, it's one part of it's equipment, but the other part of it is just presentation. All our cables are managed well. We use zip ties because, all those other things you guys use don't quite cut it.
But when you market yourself, when you market and
Yeah.
you're talking to a client, how do you differentiate yourself in that crowded market? Because again, there's tons of DJs in LA area, and you got the guys going from, again, who are going to be very inexpensive to the guys who are going to DJ to the stars because you have Hollywood there and everything. How do you differentiate yourself between yourself and them?
I think half of it is, showing them the work and seeing like what our weddings look like overall. We kind of craft an environment and an atmosphere on the dance floor instead of just playing music. We're mixing it, we're quick mixing, we're working through their requests, we're really kind of curating a vibe is what I kind of describe it as, and keeping the energy up, and with the lighting that kind of adds to the environment and makes it feel like more of a production style event rather than just somebody playing music from speakers in a corner. So I kind of push that a bit. I mean, the customer service aspect is big too. We have a lot of big companies here that have 20 plus DJs, and you never know who you're going to get and how long the response is going to be or what meetings you're limited to. So I always tell them, look, I'm connected to my phone. If you ever have a question, text me, I'll respond right away. Email me, you'll get a quick response. I'm flexible, we're easy to work with, things like that. So I think that kind of differentiates it a bit.
And that's the thing, is that when you're competing against multi-ops, when you have a company that has multiple DJs, how many times, when you see a multi-op company, you see the owner of the DJ company out there DJ. Now, some owners do. Some owners have very hands-on. Some are more supervisory owners. They will go from venue to venue to gig, check in on their DJ and make sure that a couple or a customer, depending what's going on, is happy with everything. And there's some who are just, again, unless you call the office and talk to them, they're just like, okay, you guys are going to be fine. Go do what you need to do. So again, that's one of the things when you're talking to multi-ops, there could be a difference right there. And that's one of the big things. I'm going to get some chat here really quickly. Adrian E. is checking in. Hello, good people. Knowledge is power. This is very true. Kevin says, I definitely being... Oh, God. Him and Miracle Whip and mayonnaise, supportive. Everyone wants sandwich lotion. That's what he calls it now. It's now officially sandwich lotion.
Sandwich? Okay.
It
Sandwich
puts the
lotion.
lotion on the sandwich, or it gets the hose again.
There you go. It puts the sandwich puts a lotion on, or it gets the hose. There you go. Going to lower it down into the hole.
And now your technology works, huh, Brentley?
Yeah.
Just
Now
to
it's
put that
working. Now
comment in.
he's kind of there. Fred the Godson, he's here. Matt used to be a lot worse. He has matured officially. Hey, there you go.
Who said that?
He's a little older now. He's starting to
Who said
understand
that?
that he doesn't have to be the spry young
Who
buck
said
that he
that?
used to be.
Who said that? I'm just as immature as I've always been. Who said that?
Fred the Godson. That's what he said in the chat.
Fred the Godson.
Zip ties are a differing factor. Makes sense.
It is. My cables are clean as hell.
And that's the thing, is that neat cables, you doing the right stuff, using gaffer tape, using covers, stuff like that, keeping them nice and neat and having them organized not only
Velcro.
prolongs the life of the cables, but also makes your setup look much cleaner versus
I will
cables
say
dangling everywhere.
The other thing that sets us apart, like that I'm going to push now, is like our ceremony setup, or cocktail hour setup. Like I use that subwoofer now, and you're getting like a full range sound out there, and that battery powered subwoofer. So I kind of tell people now that instead of just like a regular speaker on a stand, you're getting an actual legitimate sound system for cocktail hour. So people can still talk, but they'll hear a nice balanced sound. I don't know.
Again, if it's a tool in your toolbox, use it. And then Fred says, Kevin says you really do love zip ties. Fred says I'm making fun of Matt, saying that's about the zip ties. Yes. He's very proud of his zip ties. It's like his children, the zip ties.
You want to know how many times I've ordered them? Here, Amazon says I've ordered them 37 times.
Wow.
Well, it's like gaffer tape. How many rows of gaffer tape do I have in how many different colors? And speaking of gaffer tape, the man who needs lava right now, who's having some technical difficulties in the beautiful state of Wisconsin, which I think it's because of the fact that the weather there is bad. Maybe are you having some rain or something like that up there, or
We're supposed to be. I mean, it looks like it's going to come down pretty hard up here.
maybe the wind or something is knocking the cable out there. I don't know, but he has had some difficulties. Hopefully, he's doing good now. So, Brentley, in your market, which I've seen some of the DJs in your market and some of the DJs in that area, Wisconsin and in Minnesota and Iowa, and some of them are very interesting. I'm going to say that. Some of them are your peers, and some of them are not. And how do you differentiate yourself from yourself and other DJs? Not only just the people who are your peers, but someone who is a more budget-friendly DJ, or someone who maybe new to the market. Let's say I move to your area tomorrow. I move right next door to you. I know about Buddy's House of Discount DJs. How do you differentiate yourself between what you have and myself?
I mean, Sean brought up a lot of great points in this, from your presentation to your customer service and all of that, how you MC. The latest kick I'm on is thanks to Midwest DJs Live, about instead of sounding like a wedding DJ, trying to sound more sincere. And unfortunately, my voice just doesn't give way to it the way it should. I sound like I'm on the radio all the blank time. So that becomes a very big issue, not sounding true or authentic like Mark Farrell and a couple of the other MC coaches would want out of me. So there comes the other part of it then. What else can I do around that to make up for that? One, I think I'm one of maybe 2 or 3 DJs in the state that really do weddings and clubs like half and half. And the clubs I'm at speak for themselves. I'm down the street from where the Packers play. I'm there, 4 or 5 times during the season, plus off season I'm there. I'm at the biggest EDM club on this side, on my side of the state. So I've set myself to have a certain, caliber of gig coinciding with a certain caliber of music or a certain style. So a lot of the couples know and I've really come to believe it, which is translate incredibly to a wedding set, is being an open format college party bar DJ. Because the only real difference in that is me busting out the clean versions at weddings. And I can't think of a wedding in the last year that until Saturday that has wanted me to play clean versions. They're like, wait the first hour. And a big conversation that is, we're going to wait until the grandparents are ready to leave, play wobble. And then if they're doing it, take off. If they don't bite, we'll see how, play it by ear. Work in hotel room service. And once everybody starts screaming, maybe the grandparents will be like, yeah, we got to go. But between all of that, and I do believe part of it, in addition to your SEO, is being the package of what your customers want, but finding out who your ideal customer is. I know exactly who I'm marketing to and who I want to DJ for. I honestly try to avoid picking up most weddings of anybody that's 40 and up. I just know better. Unless in our initial conversation, I get a great feeling from you. Like one of the weddings I'm doing next summer, the bride, I did her mom's wedding a few years ago, and she's my age. She's legitimately in her 50s right now. And I was real sketched out at first about doing it until we start talking, and I'm like, oh, you guys are party animals. And hands down, we went until 3:45, 4 in the morning, because they had the entire venue and campground rented out. At that point, you can do whatever you want. They don't care. So, but it's finding who your target client is and exclusively working your marketing to them. And from last week's conversations about doing something right to be on preferred lists, this falls hand in hand of how you present yourself both to the venue and to couples. And like you said, like, how do I differentiate my market? there's me and 2 other DJs that are club DJs, and I'm the only one that really has the base and not, the experience that I do going into weddings. Plus, as you were putting, don't wait for the new trend. I have all the new gear. I have a big problem with buying equipment. I just spent over $5,000 in Both lighting. Thank you very much. And it wasn't anything spectacular or cool. It was just, okay, if the tariffs are going up and they're offering, $1,000 for 10 uplights, fine, I'll buy 20. And then, getting the 8 tubes with a case and all of that, and the chroma cannons, all for one great price. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this. So, yeah, keeping up with all the trends, or the Portmans I've got, and their towers that go with it. Having every last piece of premier equipment outside of like the big gargantuan, overhead truss, which I'm just not into. And honestly, I think it's been fading out more and more, at least in my market. Other markets like Matt, I do see, like you bust out your totems that are trusses, but I haven't really had a call for mine. And this weekend will be the first time since last summer I'll be using my moving heads. And I actually might talk my couple out of it and let them have me bring my full Cool Light show just to get some better picks with them. Plus, they're paying me for the whole package. I almost feel like I'm selling them short with just moving heads and, a few other odds and ends. But yeah, having everything you can in addition to your skill set to help you stick out will separate you from all of them. And once you get to a certain point, like, Sean said last week, taking pictures, your SEO, having pictures of your beautiful and proper setup tied down, taped down at the right venues, and then posting those. Couples are going to see those and be like, that's a beautiful picture. I can't tell you, since I had started offering Sparks and putting pictures up, I do get a lot of inquiries for them. Unfortunately, couples are like, that's how much they are. I'm like, well, yeah, we have to pay insurance and spark and powder alone. Insurance is a pain. It's not like this weekend I had, and in addition to having the insurance, the venue is now going to want to talk to you about all of it. So you've just dumped hours of time in addition to the Sparks. But, having all of that equipment, even though you may only use it 3 or 4 times a year, draws attention to yourself. Just like you were saying about the Facebook groups not chiming in. Oh, I chime in at every possible one I can. And it's not the bride that's posting. I want to see my reply. How many other brides are looking at these conversation threads going, I may not want a budget DJ. I might want something kind of bougie. And the next thing you know, they are looking at all the other DJ replies. I can't tell you how many replies from those and messages that I've gotten from just those replies on posts. I mean, I might be, like, the one of the only DJs on the table right here that doesn't work a real job. Most of us don't work real jobs anymore. We're just DJs. But having all the free time in the world, as a startup or a solo op, we have the time to sit down and work our SEO constantly. I have it in my daily spreadsheet to make sure I'm hitting key target points on each day of the week at certain times so I can get the best potential read. If you put all the work into it, by the end of it all, everybody's going to be looking at you like, this is the premier DJ in this market. I have to have him.
And that's the important thing, like we said before, is differentiating yourself from the other people out there, or separating, the wheat from the chaff. It's a very important thing to do because there's a lot of DJs out there and a lot of people who, create noise. And again, in your market, it's a little bit less, it's a little smaller market, as far as the amount of DJs. And you could have a little bit more of a say in it. In a bigger market, again, you need to differentiate yourself even more so than all the other DJs. So a market like here in Chicago or in LA area or in another major market, you got to do that. Versus in La Crosse. La Crosse is a kind of a smaller town. It's a college town, and that's not bad. It has an attraction. It has suburbs around and so forth. But if I compare that to where I'm at, it's a whole different realm, and that's why you have to look at what is best for that. Bradley put in his Mixcloud link in there for Fred, because Fred said he wanted to hear him mix. He's like, man, I got to go to one of your bars.
I mean, that's a big factor in me getting booked, because unlike your atypical wedding DJ, you can come hang out with me at any of the college clubs or nightclubs I'm at. Come see. And one couple I'm doing in Appleton this September came out to see me 2 game day weekends at Stadium View and never said a word to me. I get home that Monday morning, they'd hit me up going, "You're our DJ. We're paying you, blah, 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 blah. Here's your hotel." I'm like, "Oh, wow." And then I'm like, "We saw you both weekends in a row, and we didn't want to wig you out by being there." I'm like, "You should have come and drank with me." It was the off season. I was tying one on. But having all the different mediums helps so much.
And that's the thing, is understanding how to market yourself. And I'm going to go over to another California DJ who's been in the service for a while in DJ services. And Joe, how do you market yourself differently from other DJs in California? Especially, again, you're in a contested area in the LA area, and it's not like there's only you and Matt and maybe one other DJ. There's quite a few DJs. It's like, here you have hundreds to choose between. How do you differentiate what you do versus DJ down the street?
So yeah, I'm working in a flooded market. What's important to me is I ask the client, how did they find me, first of all? And then second, I ask the location, because when I sit down with them and I'll tell them, "Oh, okay, well, the difference between me and most of the DJs is we actually attend most of the Mobile Beat seminars, network, the MEX 25, up in Vegas. We do a lot of training, as well as just to find out the latest trends in the industry, because the old invitations, printed, they're going more into the advanced. So you don't want to sit there and basically have something like very old, but you want to have something trendy and new, because we're always evolving. The other thing that I do mention is I'm actually accredited Toastmaster, so I'm a public speaker. So I'm going to be very good on the microphone. It's important that when you come in, I make that grand entrance, everybody can understand what I'm saying on the microphone. That's another asset. And then I'm also a architectural lighting, so I've taken courses in that. So I'm very precise in where I place my lighting. It has to have a reason why that's there and why that's over here. Sound, I also spent a lot of money in sound systems. The other thing that I also mentioned is not only am I a DJ, wedding DJ, event DJ, but I'm also a club DJ. I give them the example that I had a residency at one bar for 13 years. The longevity of a DJ in a club atmosphere is maybe 3-6 months, maybe a year. But to be there for 13 years and then another club 11 years tells them that, this guy is good at what he does. I also basically finding out where that stream or that inquiry came from, because more likely they've already looked at your either Facebook, Instagram, if you have Google, Yelp, whatever they have, they've already kind of pre-listed you, and you're on the top of the list of those 3 or 4 DJs that they want to interview. But I also ask them what's important to them in their event, because that's where you take notes, because for them, it might be a monogram, it might be something else. Because I'm also a video DJ, I've been DJing, video since the 80s. I also have the screens and so on and so forth. So for a while, I was doing a lot of targeting marketing for quinceañeras, and I thought that they were the ones that had the most money, because you had the parents, you had the padrinos, you had the aunts and uncles, you had the family that were all contributing into this their event. So the budget was lot smarter. I want to say larger than basically the couple that wants to get married and they're going to have their wedding in the backyard. So you have to be very, how would I say it, precise, and want to know exactly where you're going to be DJing, because you might be leaving money on the table. You might take one event, say, okay, I got to take this event, but you're losing out on probably much better, bigger events. There was another thing I wanted to use. So again, MC, architectural lighting, attend seminars, network. That was the other thing is I do network with a lot of DJs. I love to share my experiences, my knowledge, because what that does is it shows other DJ the camaraderie that you want to create with them. So when somebody calls them and says, hey, I need a DJ, blah, 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 and they're booked, guess who they're going to call? They're going to call somebody that they can trust, they've bonded with, and they know that they'll do a good job because, again, if it's coming from another DJ's business, I'm going to give them full credit. Somebody comes up to me and says, can I have a business card? Yeah, sure. Here you go. I'm working for so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Well, can I hire you directly? I'm sorry, I can't. I'm working for another company. And if you'd like to hire me, please get a hold of me through them. Those are very, very important business aspects from my part. That's pretty much it.
You know, the one of the things you touched on is especially working with another company or working for another company is how do you know, again, you can lose yourself into that, but you also have your own separate brand as well. And you can still have your own separate brand and still work for the other company, honor your other company when you work under the company's name, be it Jim's DJ Discount DJs, and you're over here doing it. You're an employee of Jim. You honor, hey, you know, I'm sorry, I work for Jim. You have any questions, kind of Jim. But if you're out somewhere and someone says, hey, you know, do you know a DJ? Well, I happen to be one. Here you go. You can post your own card, your own information. So again, that's one of the things, how to differentiate yourself in a market. That can help too. You know, that's right there. There's a lot of things to do.
You bring up a good point, buddy, because what I have is I have a digital media card that I basically use. So I can update that anytime I want. So it's not like a printed card where somebody sticks it in their pocket or somewhere and they forget about it. They have it in their phone, so they can automatically send it to another vendor, whoever, their family, friends, whatever. All your information is there, and it's as good as you update it. So if I want to update some pictures, some text, or whatever I want to do, send them over to links to either Google or Instagram or whatever, I can do that instantaneously. I don't have to worry for a business card, you know, that, I mean, that's important. That's old school.
Oh yeah. And again, have that digital media is important. Just like having a QR code, you know, a lot of people have a QR code, another way of doing it. And you put them to a page that then connects to your Instagram, to your Facebook, to your, you know, to your Twitter, to, oh, actually X, to whatever social media you're connected to, YouTube, whatever. And you can put on there your Mixcloud, you can put on there whatever you want to and have that landing page. I know Sean was talking about maybe doing a show about that on his channel of how to do that. And that right there is an important thing, is how to differentiate yourself in that market, but also having those marketing tools not far. Joe can go up to his phone like, oh, you want my card? Boom. There you go, basically. Oh, here, let me.
The other thing that I want to touch on is that you made a perfect example of having your wife with you, because people love family-owned businesses because they feel that they can trust you. So when I tell them that I have my wife and daughter running a photo booth, if they want, not only are they doing that, but they're also helping me set up and tear down, strike. But people just love to have a family-owned business because they feel more comfortable. And this guy's not going to leave town, and he's going to basically, you know, be more caring. That's a big deal. So I give you a lot of, because you have your wife with you helping you.
Well, again, she's my life boss as well as my business boss. She's the T in TBM. So when you see TBM, it's Tracy Buddy Mueller. She's the boss for a reason, you know. All us married guys know that one. You know how that goes.
But you know, going back to the seminars, attending these conferences, I mean, it's very important. Not very many DJs do that. They just rely on either YouTube or whatever. And I'm not putting them down. It's just, if you want to elevate yourself to the next level in presence, in what you're doing, and beyond the latest trends, it's very important that you attend these seminars. You get this training.
Oh yeah.
So you're on top of your game.
Yeah, continuing education is important, and if you have, you know, DJ show coming up in your area that you can go to, and you can take some of the seminars. Look and see ones that you need help in and you want to expand your mind on, and that you can sit back and spend a few hours there and go through. And again, you not only that, you don't only learn some stuff, but also you make connections with other DJs who you may run into. Joe out there in California, and he's like, man, I'm swamped with gigs. I need someone to give it to. He runs to the mat. Him and the two of them are talking about who's got better uplighting. And he's like, man, you and I think a lot alike. We're brothers. Hey, here's a gig or two, or vice versa. And that's the thing, is how you build more bridges with other DJs. So I'm glad that, again, that's always a good thing, is going to continue education. And talking about continue education, we're going to go to Dwayne next over in Ohio, who came from the education world. He was a teacher, a music teacher for many years, and then got into DJing a few years ago, and it has really grown a lot. Plus, he has his show queued up on Thursday nights live on YouTube with his partner in crime, Mikey Mike, who I didn't see in the chat tonight. He must be out around doing a gig or something. And I wanted to go to you, Dwayne. How do you separate yourself in your area in Ohio? How do you separate yourself from other DJs in that cover your area?
I'm not sure how to answer this because I just do me. A couple of years ago, when I first joined the round table, if you had asked me that, then I would have tried to come up with an answer. But after starting my show, and after I've started going and gigging more and actually talking to people, it's like I don't have to look at what the other person is doing. Because in Cleveland, there's a lot of DJs, but there's also a lot of opportunities. You just have to find your lane and your clientele. Because once you find your lane and clientele, then you really don't have to go out your way to look at what somebody else is doing. As long as you're doing you and you're doing the best. And I like to do like a lot of social media kind of stuff, so people see what I'm doing. And so what I'm finding out, the more I talk to people lately, is that a lot of them find interest in me because I come from a teaching background, a music teacher background. So I know how to put on a show. I know how to organize things. Also, I've done theater work, so I know about programming music for a show and meeting marks and all that stuff. I bring a different kind of professionalism that an average DJ wouldn't think about. And also I do music and stuff. So I know about putting together beats, or if you need a special edit, to be able to do it right there on the spot. So I guess that would be how I make myself different from everybody else. But I don't think about it when I do it. I just do me because this is what I offer. And people seeing that, especially online, they're more so, when they come to me, they already had looked up my background. So I don't feel I have to sell myself. I find myself not talking about me. It's more so, what do you want from at your event, and how can I serve you? So that's how our conversation goes. So, and I found that networking, you would think in Cleveland, a lot of people would be like more cutthroat, but a lot of people aren't really cutthroat. The ones that I have ran into, they're equal to network. So it's not really about competing. It's more so, let's work together. And if I have something that I can offer you or throw your way, I'll throw your way, and vice versa. It's like a two-way street. So that's what I'm finding out is the best way for me to get ahead.
And that's the thing, is that sometimes you find, if you do something that someone else is not doing and you're successful at it, why not run with it? And that doesn't mean that it's bad or good. It means that you found a way, you found a path. And that if you're making money at it and you're enjoying it, by all means, and that's the fun part when you do things differently than other people. And you can you're separating yourself from other DJs. And speaking of someone that separates himself from other DJs is Chris, because he does foam parties. And, he provides that foam service out there. And he's got some gigs for this summer already for his foam business. He's doing music, people dancing, people having fun. And how again, how do you differentiate your business besides doing foam? How do you showcase that product or showcase what you do from, let's say, DJ No Skills down the street who buys some soap from the store, puts it in a 5-gallon bucket, creates a bunch of foam, and throws it down on a piece of plastic. Here you go.
Well, if you're speaking in that terms, then yeah, I'd say I run with the authentic stuff. Okay, there's no fake stuff here. But the way I put it is D&D, and I don't mean Dungeons and Dragons. I mean diversify and detail. So I put the details together, which doesn't take very much. You have to be detail oriented, and you get it right. Because you don't get it right the first time, to you, it doesn't matter much. You may never get a gig again from them, but you want them to have that referral because you are diversified in every detail. I could DJ weddings. I've done many of them. Every single one is highly detail oriented. Sweet 16s, not big in the barn bat mitzvahs, but I hear they're fun. I helped out, and that's where I diversify, is because I've helped out a lot of other DJs in learning between everything in stage production work, doing some of the bands. I'm doing one at the end of this month, so I don't always just do foam. I don't always just do DJ. I am the roadie. I know how to, learn from others. I don't always take the lead. And that's the most important thing of leadership, is when not to lead, when to follow. So follow the people that know more than you.
And one of the things I always heard, and this is from a teacher back in high school, and they were talking about everybody liked this teacher, and to ask them, what is your key to success? And they said, to be a great teacher, you got to be an awesome student, because you should always want to learn. You should always have an open mind to listen to other people. Just because they may not do the same thing you do, it may be something different, doesn't mean it's wrong or right. It just means a different way sometimes. Other things, again, it all boils down to being a student, learning and growing. And that's the key thing there. When you're showcasing your foam, how can you learn and grow? How do you differentiate yourself from someone else? Yeah. That's a big thing when you understand how to do that.
People have this type of setup. I've learned this through merging technologies from the DJ industry, from staging to the foam. Most of the other guys are only using on four-legged stands. And I'm like, why do they have four-legged stands? Why don't we use the three-legged ones? Oh, it's for weight distribution, different metal materials. I found the reasons why. I says, that's great, but I want to do the next bigger thing. I mean, there's no one doing huge events this size, and that's a huge trussing. I'll tell you, that's a 12-foot across, 10-foot high trussing right there. So it's pretty big for what that is for an outdoor event, which is great for kids events. That's the size I want. I can go bigger. I have friends that have taller ones. I can make it taller. These are the big, heavy steel plates. That's why the orange cone is right here, is because it blocks the metal bar that sticks up. Because these are the old ones. These are the heavy, big, fat steel plates. So I need the weight.
No one wants a bolt through their foot. That would not be fun.
That would end stubbing their toe.
Yeah, that would basically end that fun part. But let me ask you this: since again you have this unique product, you're a little different, and kind of like Dwayne, you found a market that's untapped, and you're tapped into that market, and yet you're showcasing that market and working that market. Do you feel that you're being successful in that?
Yes, it's slow going, but yes, it is successful. I used to have 2 events a year. I'm up to 3 or 4 events, these big events like this a year. So it's slowly expanding, but sometimes it's the price of insurance. It's the price of doing community events, because they don't see the big picture of how much material needs to be used, how much labor cost there is, in setting some of this stuff up. And
well, again, in insurance,
we need you in and out in this.
you said before insurance, and that's one of the things like Brentley was saying in insurance. Insurance is a very expensive part, and people, again, don't understand that sometimes the reason why we charge a little bit more money is because of the insurance. I just paid my insurance for the year. That's not cheap.
Well, one thing is I'm mixing 2 very dangerous elements, electricity and water. I don't need anybody to get shocked. It's in that element. So I have to be extra safe. I have to understand how electricity works and where it goes and flows. Same thing with the water, you know? So
It would be a shocking experience for everyone involved. We don't want that, you know.
yeah, I would just hope I would be the only one to get shocked. Then I could just
we,
blame
we,
myself.
we don't want, yeah, we don't want any of
We
that
don't want that
happening.
either, but you know, it's
Yeah.
the safety protocols that I have to have in place.
You follow the protocols. That's the thing. Always safety first with anything you do. So I want to see a show of hands here, and I'm going to ask this question: who here has taken either online or went to a seminar and has taken classes this year for DJ stuff, be it for marketing, be it for whatever? Who here has taken, sound class, any kind of class this year? So most of us have taken, hold on, I got
Your hand, Sean.
I got the hand up. Sean hasn't turned off his hand. When it rises, it puts up little things saying hand risen. Yeah, it goes back up. So again, that's an important thing right there, is taking those classes and learning and expanding, because again, if it helps you do something better, why not? And again, a lot of the classes, they may be free from certain companies, or they may be a small fee, but to me, it's worth it. And listening, and again, if it's something that you're like, I know this pretty well, it's a refresher course. Then it's not a bad thing.
As a DJ, I didn't raise my hand because I'm actually self-taught. When I first became a DJ in 2018, I basically taught myself. I had no help from other DJs before I had YouTube, so I basically pretty much taught myself in terms of.
Well, again, there's classes online you can take, and it can help you expand and maybe help you do something a little different. And you never know. Maybe a safety class, maybe how to do cable management. There's tons of classes out there, and there's tons of things. I took a sound class. A 1-day seminar, 6 hours, and it helps me with sounding more so now than it did before. And I knew quite a bit, but it helped me learning more. And that's the thing, is that never be afraid of learning. Never close your mind. Say,
Never stop
I know
learning.
everything. Yeah, we don't. And maybe Chris does. Chris, you know everything?
No, God, there's so much more I need to learn. I may be diversified, means I know a little bit about everything. I can't say I know a lot about one thing, but I know a lot.
Or as you say,
Buddy.
not to be dangerous.
Buddy, I learned a lot about cable management.
Well,
This
again,
is
if you're going back to the 80s and 90s,
Wow, that's old school.
yeah, hell,
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is from 1979 with my
Is
wife.
that on a slide, that photo? Did you do slide conversions? Wow.
So I used to fly my speakers before speaker stands were invented.
There you go. Wow. And those are gels,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's my wife.
Old school.
Transformer packs and all. Woo!
Who doesn't miss
Beacon.
who doesn't miss halogen lights with gels, and then the chaser that you hear click to go through all the lights, and it'll go back and forth, and it'll go click,
And
click,
the
click,
gloves of
click,
those relay
click.
packs.
My light box was made out of wood with the regular switches that you use for the houses, on-off switch.
Just show you a picture of the old school night
I went
colors we
old
did
school,
too.
but I learned cable management.
That right there, that was before there was online anything. Online didn't exist other than like in movies.
You're giving
Oh,
me
Matt, I got
nightmares
you
right
here.
now.
I got you here because this was probably before you were even born.
Yeah, it's
No, I start like my first DJ sound setup was a pair of Trainer 115 speakers and the Trainer soundboard that you had to plug all your crap into. And there was no stereo. It was all mono BS meant for a band. We didn't have good sound systems. Crap, you're lucky if you had, a decent 5-band graph on the Trainer soundboard itself. And then when PV had the boxes, they introduce, the box soundboard. Now you got to bend over and look at stuff instead of leaning it, where you can look at it in your face. And at least they were cool enough to give you a few settings like a bigger graph and reverb. Like the big thing of the 80s, reverb on your soundboard.
That's the important thing. Now here's something funny. Going to the lights right there, halogen lights. One of my friends, Mark, he had lights. He had 6 halogen lights in different gels, and he had the controller, and each one's a regular Edison plug. So you plug into each one in to each one of those. That controls the light. It basically turns the light off or on, and it goes through in the sequence. Well, every so often that would stick, and the light would stay on. The light was fine, but I don't know what's inside there. I can't remember it. The part that actually clicks. I can't remember the name of the item. But it would heat up, and you would actually start smelling something like, I'm smelling something burning, and the light would, you see one light on, you're like, oh, you go and bang it, and it'll start going back through again, because basically it's causing a short in there, and it's supposed to heat up and then click, kind of like your directional. That's older directionals and older vehicles. They're not digital like they are today. They're actually, they're actually causing.
Relay.
Yeah, relay. I
Relay.
couldn't remember what it was. A relay opening and closing. That's what it is. A bunch of relays in there at 110 volts. Basically turn on or off that outlet because it's heating up to a certain part. Relay would click, turn off, so it goes to the next one. So it is one of the things that, halogen lights, and you gotta have a few extra bulbs, and then you gotta wait about a half hour or so afterwards if they're all on, because you gotta let them cool down before you grab them, because they're hot. Not fun. Not fun at all.
Melt some flesh there, buddy.
Oh, I'll leave you guys on this one. When I was a young kid, my parents went pretty far out for Christmas, and they would have in the front window a mechanical Santa Claus, and my dad would have him set look like he's putting the garland on around the front bay window, and it had a halogen light on above him, lighting them up. So it was hanging.
Were you the house with the hot electric SEX lamp too?
No, that's next door.
Okay.
But had a light bulb up there, or he would have it up top, but then it would fall sometimes, opening and closing the front drapes. So he put it down on the ground, uplighting it. Well, it would be wintertime and cold, and your lips are chapped, so you get chapstick. And what would I go up there? Go up to the chapstick. Oh, look, the chapstick melts on the bulb. Oh, look, now the light's kind of pinkish because now it's strawberry chapstick on the bulb. I got in some trouble, to say the least. So, yeah. We all have our stories. We all have our fun. And that's the thing, is that we all try to have a lot of fun. And it looks like we lost Sean. Maybe he got technical problems.
Yeah, we don't need him anyway.
Oh, we don't? Okay. Well, we need you guys. We need to say goodnight to you guys. And here's the thing. If you guys get a chance to, make sure you give a thumbs up over on YouTube. But again, put a comment down below. And we'll see you guys next week. But who will take us out tonight? I think Matt will take us out tonight.
Yeah. Thank you for watching the DJ Roundtable. You better subscribe because I'm here and I liven the show up every week. So check the view counts. You'll see that when I'm here, views go way up. But either way, we got a great group of professionals and we like to have fun here. So that's it for the DJ Roundtable. Tune in next week, same time, same place, and stay classy.
Peace. Wow, big classy San Diego. Well, very Ron Burgundy of you, man. Love it. Good night, all.
Peace.